The next morning, sunlight fills the room and wakes me. I groan, hoisting the blanket over my face. I feel awful. I barely got any sleep the night before. Everything that happened last night crashes down on me like a tidal wave. I groan, running a hand up on my face. This is going to be a long day. Punko blinks at me as he cocks his head.
Boy.
He gives me a little nudge with his face. Sorry. I'm fine. The Punko's face settles into a worried expression. I sigh and sit up. The Punko squeaks as he rolls down my chest and onto the bed. Sorry, little buddy. I pick him up and place him on my shoulder. I'm ready to go downstairs and meet the others. How about you? He frowns.
Boy.
He gives me a look indicating that he's still not entirely convinced I'm entirely okay. I'll be fine. Let's go. Even so, it feels difficult to even get out of bed. I force myself downstairs, but no one else is there yet. Suddenly I hear a clatter of footsteps. My stomach swoops with anxiety and hope. A part of me hopes it's Leanna, the other half doesn't because I'm not sure how to act around her. But I see a pair of black boots and then a flash of a brown ponytail, and I let out a sigh of relief. It's just Zach and Kara. Oh! Hey guys! Zach
Hey.
nods. I notice a few more scratches on his neck and collarbone again. Kara seems to be in her usual chipper mode, a bit too chipper. Zach's wild hair and marks don't indicate what happened yesterday. Kara's smirk sure does. A slow smile tugs in my mouth. Hey Zach, I never saw you again last night. Zach blinks.
What?
I really missed you. You never came home.
Sorry, he was a bit tied up last night.
His face burns red. There's another trail of footsteps coming from behind me. My spine locks.
Greetings.
I turn around. Amy's there, and Leanna's with her. I notice their arms are full of supplies. They must have gotten up early to go shopping. My heart cracks all over again. Just seeing Leanna and being around her, it hurts. Leanna's face burns with a blush.
Oh, hey.
Hey. Well, I don't know how to act around her. Leanna doesn't seem to know either. She twists her hands and avoids eye
We
contact.
got all of the supplies, so we don't have to linger here any longer. We can get going.
I nod. Okay. Sounds good. I really don't want to be in this town anymore. Traveling might help take my mind off things.
Let's get going.
Kara and Zach blink. They share a look with each other, but don't push.
Okay.
We make our way out of the inn. Soon we find ourselves out of the town and onto a new path. I remain quiet as we travel, immersed in my own swirling thoughts. Leanna avoids my contact, giving me space. Maybe she's trying to be respectful of my feelings, or maybe she just can't stand to look at me. I don't know which thought is more comforting. They both leave me feeling empty. Dragging my feet, I lag behind the others, but I just can't seem to muster the energy to keep up. I keep replaying last night in my head. The evening was going perfectly, until I sneak a glance at Leanna, who walks beside Amy. She stares straight ahead of her. Her walk looks stiff, like she's not comfortable in her own skin. Her hair sways with her hips, and I remember how soft it felt, tickling my skin, almost as soft as her touch. My heart tightens, and I shake my head. I can't linger on these thoughts, but I can't ignore how much I want to be near her. Having to hold back is torture. These feelings don't disappear overnight. Is this as hard for her as it is for me? As night falls, we find a place to camp. We split up camp duties as per usual, with Zach and Kara preparing dinner, and Leanna and I searching for firewood. We search in silence. I feel like I should say something, but I don't know what. Sometimes I catch Leanna glancing my way. She looks like she wants to tell me something, but doesn't. Dinner's quiet. We talk, but the conversation quickly trails off. I barely touch my food, but I can't eat anymore. After cleanup, I slip away and take a seat alone. The stars shine brightly in the sky. but they just remind me of Leanna. The grass rustles beside me.
Boy?
The Pongo looks up at me with wide eyes. Hey, Pongo.
Boy.
He beams at me. I return a smile, but it doesn't reassure him. His face falls.
Boy.
Sorry, little man. I'm just not in the mood.
Boy.
He deflates and snuggles up to me.
Boy.
I smile weakly as another voice interrupts.
Hey!
Car sits down beside me. She gives the Pongo a short pat. Hey. She pauses, waiting, then gently nudges me.
Come on, spill it.
Spill what?
Something's got you down. What is it?
Kara, what does happiness feel like? It's been so long. I can't remember.
Oh, that's not true. You know what being happy feels like.
She pulls me into a hug, resting my head against her chest. Okay, I'm starting to remember. With a little laugh, she lets me go.
It has something to do with Leanna, doesn't it?
What makes you say that?
You guys keep looking at each other and sighing. And you haven't done anything cute today. Obviously something is up.
Do I tell her? But she and Leanna are friends too.
Did you two have a fight?
Not exactly. Maybe I should just tell her. But I don't want to make things weird. Kara brows knit.
You didn't break up, did you?
I remain quiet, and her eyes widen.
You two broke up!
Reluctantly, I nod. She lets out a sigh.
Oh no! But you two were so cute together. What happened?
It just wasn't meant to be, I guess.
Of course it was! You two are perfect for each other. Are you sure you can't work it out?
It just doesn't make sense. Like Leanna said, I'm gonna have to go home to my family and friends. It's not like Leanna can come with me. She has her life here. Kara sighs deeply. She looks frustrated but understanding.
You do have a point. But that still sucks.
Yeah, it does. She faces me, her expression soft.
Seriously though, I'm sorry you're going through this. I get that you want your space right now, and I'll give it to you. But if you ever do want to talk, I'm all ears.
Thanks. She gives my shoulder a comforting squeeze before pushing herself to her feet. Without a word, she rejoins the group. I shift positions and feel this Pongo stir beside me. He blinks up at me again and cocks his head.
Boy?
Oh, did you hear all that too?
Boy.
Yeah. But don't let that scare you. It's better to have loved than lost than never have loved at all. Calls his head to the side.
Boy.
I look back out at the stars. Suddenly, the Pongo bounds away towards the camp. I must have scared him off. I sigh and lean back on my elbows. After a few minutes, the Pongo returns, a crystal in his mouth. He drops it in my lap, then nudges my hand, urging me to pick it up. What's this?
Boy.
I turn the crystal around in my hand. It's my old wind crystal I gave him when he was upset about that girl, Pongo. Realization dawns on me. I gave him a crystal when he was upset over a girl, and now that I'm upset over a girl, he's giving the crystal back. The Pongo watches me expectantly. I laugh and scoop up the Pongo into a hug. Thanks, buddy. You definitely cheered me up.
Boy.
Pongo beams and snuggles against me. As the evening wears on and the campfire dies down, Leanna gently approaches me. I look up at her as she stands awkwardly beside me.
Hey.
Hey. It's a pause as I wait for her to fill the silence.
How are you doing?
Her eyes are full of concern as she twists her hands nervously. I shrug. I'm fine, I guess. She furrows her brow as the sadness returns to her eyes.
I'm sorry.
The words escape her. What's done is done. All we can do now is try to move past it. So, what did you want to talk to me about?
Oh, it's just that it's getting late, and the rest of us are going to go to sleep. Maybe you should come back and get some rest too.
I nod. The bongo sits on my shoulder as I push myself to my feet. Together with Leanna, we return to the camp. I roll out my bedroll and lie down. The pongo cuddles against me as I close my eyes, and after a while my thoughts quiet and I finally drift to sleep. The next morning, we get up bright and early. Everyone seems to be in a more serious mood as we clean camp. We're getting really close to the Shadow Temple, and the weight of what might find there weighs on all of us. After we pack up, we continue on towards the Shadow Temple. The sky is clear and beautiful, but the sun is hot. It seems to beat on the back of our necks. The path is dusty, the sand pristine, but hard to walk in. After a while, I realize I'm getting desperately thirsty. I take a swig from my canteen, thankful we packed before heading out. I wonder how Zach managed to keep his trench coat on this whole time. Even Leanna looks a little stuffy in her armor. Kara's the only one who doesn't seem bothered by the weather. After what seems to be forever, we come across a temple ruin into the night. The stones are charcoal gray. It seems to be humming with a deep old magic. I can feel it from here, something fizzy and crackling, a type of energy that settles deep within my bones without having to even enter.
This is it.
Leanna nods.
Yeah.
Kara grips her knives.
It's probably best we all stay close. We don't know where we're going to find Void, or whatever else we might find in there.
Leanna draws her sword, her manipulator already giving off a faint glow. I ready my sword as well.
Right. Let's get going. Everyone?
We nod and together enter the temple. The temple is surprisingly dark and cool. There's a gentle moaning breeze coming from somewhere. It wisps around the back of my neck like lips of a ghost. A shiver runs down the length of me, and I'm unsure if I should be thankful or frightened. How is this place so cold when it's located in the desert? The walls are gray and etched with glowing lime's green symbols. The stones here look rough and uneven, but the ground is dry and clear of any sand. The only sounds are the hammering of my heart and the crunch of our boots against the stone. We stumble through the dark, taking small steps, fearful that we could turn a corner and stumble across Void at any minute. We keep inching forward. After what feels like an eternity, we stumble across an open area inside the temple. Leanna frowns.
This is strange. No one is here.
Kara keeps her voice low.
Maybe they're deeper inside the temple somewhere.
Leanna's brows furrow.
Maybe. I just feel like we would have heard them, or seen them by now.
Zach's jaw clenches.
This could be a trap.
A chill runs down my spine.
If that is the case, it does us no good to stay in one place. It is best to move on and see if we can find Void, or the Shadow Elemental.
The others agree.
Right. Then let's keep going.
Our footsteps echo in the quiet. Zach leads us the way with his guard up. Kara stays close to him with Leanna and Amelia walking side by side. I take another step. The temple seems to be getting darker as shadows curl at my feet. I squint as the light grows fainter and fainter and the shadows grow longer and
Be
longer.
careful.
Leanna's voice sounds far away, but she was right next to me a minute ago. Leanna? My voice feels flat and dull against the emptiness. No echoes resound. In fact, I can't even hear my friend's footsteps anymore as the shadows thicken in the air. Soon, the darkness overtakes me and I stumble, my hands out in front of me. Amy, do you think you could light us a fire? I'm met with silence. Amy? Glancing around, I'm surrounded by total darkness with no signs of my friends. Only a black abyss looms in front of me. I feel the tightness as the shadows squeeze closer to me. I close my eyes as I feel the whisper of a breath on the back of my neck. And suddenly it stops. The library is far more quiet than I would have expected at this time of night. The only sound is the gentle hum of the air conditioner. Well, that was close. I blink my eyes wide open. Then I stifle a yawn as I stretch to wake myself up. Focus. Finals are just around the corner, so I can't afford to slack off. Glancing around me, I notice that I'm the only person left in the study cubicles. It is getting pretty late. I'll go back to the dorms as soon as I finish this last chapter. I flip the book. Only a few more pages to go. I can do this. Stealing my resolve, I refocus on my textbook. The words on the books blur together as my eyelids grow heavy. I fight to keep my eyes open, but my lids continue to droop. I'll just rest them for a second. Something jerks me awake and my eyes blink open. A bright light illuminates the room, blinding me until all I can see is stark whiteness. I throw my arm over my eyes to shield it from the light. After a few seconds pass, the light seems to dim, but it doesn't feel like the same fluorescent glow as the library bulbs. Carefully, I unwind and bring my arm down, squinting at the pale blue sky. A mild breeze tussles my hair. Blades of grass tickle my neck as they wave in the wind. Where am I? I'm about to push myself off the ground when something pops into view. A round blue blob with two dark eyes blinks at me.
Boy?
Why does the sky look kind of familiar? When it notices my stare, it opens its small mouth and takes a dainty bite up my nose. Hey! The creature's bite doesn't sting, but it feels like a cool splash of water. Before I can take another, I scramble to my feet. The creature tumbles off my hand and falls to the ground. Once it lands, it shakes it off with a gelatinous tremble, clearly unfazed.
Boy!
It hops onto my foot and opens its mouth again, but I quickly shake it off. It rolls off my foot and into the dirt, then rights itself again.
Boy!
It pouts and continues to watch me but doesn't attempt another bite. Pongo?
Boy?
I take in the scattering of trees around me. Their tall branches kiss the sky. There's a winding dirt trail which weaves through the trees. As I follow it with my gaze, I see smoke billowing out of thatched roofs of a village in the far distance. Where am I? The last thing I remember is... I glance down at the blue creature. What? At my response, it leaps up. Whoa! The Pongo jumps higher than I remember. It startles me and I instinctively step back. I don't notice the other person until it's too late. We painfully collide and I lose my balance before toppling over. Fortunately, my hands catch myself, protecting my fall. When I open my eyes, I see a woman. Her eyes are scrunched shut, and her mouth is twisted in a grimace. Her long blonde hair is splayed out around her. As she lets out a small groan, she blinks open her eyes and fixes her gaze on me. Wait. She looks familiar. This girl... I know her. Wait. Leanna? She blinks.
What?
I have an uneasy feeling in my stomach. Something about her. Something that happened. Why do I feel like someone punched me in the gut?
Get off me!
Huh? A flash of blue light stings my eyes. Suddenly I'm shoved off with a roaring wind. It groans and shoves me backwards onto the ground. Ow! Anna scrambles to her feet. She draws her sword. Whoa, 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 Leanna, what are you doing? Her eyes narrow.
How do you know my name?
What? Confusion washes over me. What are you saying? For some reason, my heart clenches. Something about Leanna seems painful, but I can't put my finger on what it is. My stomach squirms, and I rise to my feet. You don't remember me? Leanna doesn't answer. She watches me, her gaze cool and guarded. I shift under her stare. I glance around the place. Looks like I'm in a meadow. Hey. Where are we? Her defense stays up.
What do you mean, where are we?
Something just feels off. Maybe you can show me the way to the... I try to remember. Where did she take me before? She led me somewhere, didn't she? The Mage Academy. Can you take me there? I'm not sure where it is anymore.
Get away from me, you creep!
Horror washes over me. What? She spins on her heel with a whirl of blonde hair and dashes away. What? Wait! But it's no use. She doesn't stop. This isn't right. This isn't how I remember things going. Something is off. It has to be. But I glance around. Where am I? Yeah. This place is called Meadow Hill. It looks the same, but somehow it still feels so different. After Meadow Hill, Leanna led me to the Mage Academy, where Zack and Amy joined a group. Picard joined us somewhere else. Where was that? Oh, that's not it. Ember Mist. That was it. She helped us go through the Fire Temple. And we've been traveling together for a long time. But I can't shake this feeling that something significant happened recently. Where did we all last go together? That's right. The city outside of Harbingard, where Leanna... My mind freezes. Where she broke up with me. Feels like I was just punched in the gut. All of this isn't right. Leanna and I, we were together. We aren't strangers. This place. It can't be the real Meadow Hill. This can't be the real Asaria. As soon as that last thought passes through my head, the sky cracks. A shimmer of warmth rushes into Meadow Hill and floods it with light. I cringe and shield my eyes with my hands. I jerk awake. The light is gone. Huh? I can feel the Pongo resting on my chest, but he just looks like a blurry blue blob. I blink rapidly, focusing my vision to refocus. The Pongo's eyes shimmer with tears. He nudges my cheek as if trying to wake me. His little voice is tinged with distress. Hey, it's alright. I'm okay. The Pongo perks up at my voice. I reach out at the top of his head. Hey, it's okay. He wobbles underneath my touch. I feel him start to relax. He hops into my shoulder, snuggling close to my neck. I force myself to stand. The room sways a little. It takes me a full minute to realize I'm back in the Shadow Temple. I groan and rub the back of my head. What was that? I feel the Pongo shrug.
Boy, boy,
So, you didn't see any of that? He blinks.
boy.
Apparently not. Was it all just a dream? I look around. Where did the others go? I blink away the rest of the blurriness of my vision and see the others are sprawled out across the floor. My stomach lurches with alarm. What happened? Are they hurt? Leanna is the closest to me. I stumble as I rush over to her. Leanna? I reach out, attempting to shake her awake. As soon as I touch her, that same blinding light explodes in my vision. I flinch, squeezing my eyes shut, and slowly the light begins to fade. Huh? I open my eyes. Isn't this Leanna's home? We're all seated at the table for breakfast. The tension is taut in the air.
Oh, spare me the theatrics. How could this be your dream? Don't you realize how dangerous it is to be a mage knight?
Yes, I do realize that. I live it every day. But at least, as a mage knight, I'm well equipped to take care of myself. I've been trained to handle danger.
He shakes his head.
You can't be prepared for every circumstance. What if you get ambushed, outnumbered, or overwhelmed in battle? What if your teammates fall and you're the only one left?
So what if that does happen? How can we live life based on hypotheticals? What if I became ill? What if I couldn't bear children? Would you still force me to get married? But if those things happened, I wouldn't be able to fulfill my duty as a lady in the House of Dawn. Then what?
Her father scowls and waves a hand dismissively.
That's not the same. Those are all based on chance. You aren't throwing yourself into situations which would allow those things to occur. As a mage knight, you're walking into those scenarios every day.
Leanna points a finger at Leon. Her voice is shrill as she tries to keep her composure.
What about Leo then? He's a mage knight who walks into danger every day. Why aren't you worried about him?
Because it's his responsibility to serve and protect as a man in the House of Dawn.
Once Leanna is speechless. Silence settles over the table like a heavy blanket. Her mother stares at her lap as still as a statue. Leon opens and closes his mouth as if he wants to speak but can't find the words to say. Her father nods.
Now that you've come to your senses, we can discuss the details of the engagement.
No.
The rage returns to her father's face.
How many times must we go round in this endless game? When will you accept your responsibility as a lady in the House of Dawn?
Leanna's voice is scarily calm.
If this is what it takes to be a Dawn, then I don't want to be a Dawn anymore.
Then her parents laugh.
Fine.
Shock spreads across Leanna's face.
What?
He shrugs.
If you refuse to fulfill your responsibility as a Dawn, then you have no right to call yourself a Dawn.
None of this is right. Her father was mortified when Leanna suggested throwing away her family name before. Leanna, that isn't your father.
What?
She looks around. Can she hear me? I try raising my voice. Think about it. Your father would never say something like that. She freezes. Yes, she can hear me. Don't you think all of this is strange? Her head turns in the direction of my voice, but I don't think she can see me.
Liana, are you listening to me?
She turns to face him. Her posture becomes straighter.
I understand now.
She shakes her head.
I understand now. You are not my family. My father would never say something like that.
Just like before, there's another blinding flash of light. It engulfs the room until it burns my eyes too much to keep them open. I cringe, shielding my face. After a few moments, I feel the light slowly begin to fade. When I open my eyes again, Leanna is still on the ground. She gasps, awake. Are you okay? I'm still on my knees, hovering beside her.
I think so.
Lena lets out a deep sigh.
I'm happy all of that was just a terrible dream.
She shivers.
I know that's not how it happened, but hearing it was still unnerving.
I nod. She releases a heavy breath.
Thank you.
I nod. Lena glances around. She must have spotted the others because her face furrows in
Are
concern.
they okay? What's happening to them?
I think they're trapped inside their own illusions. When I touched you, I was able to see and hear everything that was going on. I think we can help them too. She nods, still visibly shaken.
Right.
I help her to stand and then we drag our way over to the others. Zach is the closest. His face is surprisingly calm, as if he's just cuddled up for an afternoon nap. Even so, I feel an impending sense of dread. What kind of illusion is Zach facing? I can't even begin to imagine some of the awful things he must have seen in his past as a mercenary. Are you ready? Leanna nods. Together we bend down and touch his arm. There's that same low moaning sound and a flash of light. Leanna and I find ourselves at a campsite. A few silver stars wink overhead. The air is cool and calm. Fireflies blink in the distance.
Where are we?
I'm not sure. There's an abrupt roar of laughter. We turn around and see Zach sitting around a fire with a large group of people. They all burst into another wave of laughter, and Zach joins in their merriment. I was expecting something darker, but he's actually happy. My stomach clenches. I'm not sure if that's worse or not. Zach glances over at a few cards in his hands. I notice the others are also hunched over at their own cards.
Damon, do you have any sixes?
My heart gives an unpleasant twist.
Oh,
Worry crinkles between Leanna's brows.
Damon. That's his old mentor, right?
I nod. I remember some of the stories Zach told me about Damon at the inn. He looks just as humble and strong as Zach described him to be. Damon chuckles.
Not today, my boy.
Zach sighs and begrudgingly takes a card from the pile.
Hey, Zach. You don't happen to have any sixes, do you?
Zach frowns. Fire chuckles. He has the same bright red hair, but he looks younger here. A few of the marks on his face look fresh, like he got them recently. Zach grudgingly hands over his cards. A grin sprawls across Fire's face. He places down several matches.
Looks like I win again.
The others throw their cards back down and groan, but they're laughing. Zach shakes his head.
You always seem to win.
Fire shrugs, feigning humility.
What can I say? I'm just lucky.
Damon claps a hand over Zach's shoulder.
Maybe next time, Zach.
Zach smiles, looking appreciative. My stomach turns. Zach! This isn't real. Zach pauses. He lifts his head up and turns in our direction.
What's wrong?
He shakes his head.
Nothing. I just thought I heard my name.
Fire laughs.
Getting a little crazy there, Zach?
A faint blush dusts his cheeks. He shakes his head.
No, it was nothing.
Leanna frowns next to me.
This isn't good. What if he doesn't want to leave the illusion?
Everyone perks up.
Oh, great. I'm starving.
One of the men passes everyone in the group a bowl of soup. Just as soon as Zach is about to dig in, someone hands Fire a bowl. It's twice the size as everyone else's. Zach barely blinks an eye.
You've got to eat up there. I can't have my star pupil going hungry.
Fire flashes Damon a bright smile.
Thanks.
Damon takes a few bites of his soup.
Oh, by the way, Zach. After we're done, you can clean up for the night.
Zach blinks.
Me? But I cleaned up the last 3 times.
Damon smiles, looking apologetic.
There needs to have his strength to run point on the Crystal Rail mission tomorrow.
Zach blinks.
Wait,
Zach's cell breath seems to leave his body.
the crystal rail?
Carl lets out a bitter laugh.
What? Did you think you were running point?
Realization washes over him. Zach's face fails.
That's not...
He shakes his head.
No, that doesn't make any sense.
Zach looks like he's remembering. Hope flourishes in my chest. You ran that plant mission, Zach, not Vader. Vader betrayed you. Zach's brows furrow. I know he hurt me.
I ran point on that mission.
What are you talking about?
Damon raises his eyebrows.
Zach, you're not making sense. We haven't done the mission yet.
Zach's eyes grow dark. It's like his very soul has flown somewhere far, far away.
No, we have.
His grip tightens around his bowl. Damon's brows crinkle. The others stare at him.
What are you talking about?
Lets out a nervous laugh.
You're starting to worry me.
Zach slowly raises his head. His eyes are bleak.
No,
His fangs cover his eyes.
this isn't real.
Damon shifts under his gaze.
What do you mean?
Zach looks up. He seems to have trouble getting the words out.
This was nice, seeing all of you again.
The group looks at him, but no one speaks. Zach stands up and brushes himself off.
You're leaving?
Zach nods.
I'm moving forward with my life. I'm not living in the past anymore.
He stares down at Damon. Damon finally smiles.
Take care then.
Always.
A bright light bursts across our eyes. It's like a star exploded and filled the entire campsite. I flinch, throwing my arm over my eyes. The heat from the light gradually begins to decrease. I feel it start to dim. When I lower my arm, a few bright spots blink in front of my nose. It takes a few seconds for my eyes to refocus, and I realize we're back at the temple. Zach groans, slowly hoisting himself up. He rubs his head. Leanna's brows crinkle.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
Despite what happened, he seems to be at peace. These illusions are our memories. My shiver runs down the length of my spine. How does this place know so much about us? Zach shrugs. He doesn't offer any answers. Leanna, meanwhile, seems just as spooked as I am.
I don't know. We'd better help the others before they slip further away.
I nod. We walk a little further down the corridor before finding Kara. Her brown ponytail is sprawled out behind her. Her face is wrought, like she's having a nightmare. She flinches as we crouch down. I notice Zach's jaw is tight. Reaches out and touches her shoulder, and Leanna and I follow suit. There's a flash of light. When it fades, I find myself standing between Leanna and Zach inside a small room.
my decision is final.
Huh? I look up. Zach is standing across from Kara with his arms crossed. Wait, what? I glance at Zach beside me, and then back to the scene. Is that other Zach an illusion? Kara's eyes shimmer with tears.
What did I do wrong?
You know exactly what you did wrong.
Kara's face crumbles.
Please don't.
She crosses her arms, hugging herself.
Please.
Don't pretend to be sorry now. You deserve to be alone. What?
The real Zach's face curdles into a snarl.
You bastard!
He lunges forward and punches the fake Zach in the face.
Ow!
He stumbles backwards, clutching his
What
nose.
the hell?
Fury contorts the real Zach's face.
What is wrong with you? What? Who are you?
Zach strikes him again, so hard, his head reels to the side.
Ow! Like hell, I'm gonna let you walk away from the greatest thing that happened in your life.
The other Zach rubs his jaw. His eyes stare wide at the real Zach. I can see the shock and dismay in them. It's a weird look.
How are you even doing this?
Zack punches him again in response. Zack seems to have the situation under control. He doesn't need my help. Kara blinks.
Wait,
It seems as though she's just now beginning to process what's going on. She looks between the two Zacks. I can see the cogs turning in her head, piecing everything together. Finally she smiles, and a blush dusts her cheeks.
I'm the greatest thing that has ever happened to you?
A white light shimmers. It blooms and sparkles over the entire area. Once again, we're taken out of the illusion and find ourselves back inside of the temple. Zack growls and swings forward, his fist whistling through the air. He stumbles and rights himself at the last minute.
Where is that guy?
He whirls around searching for him. Kara beams. She rushes over and throws her arms around Zack. Zack freezes. Kara snuggles her head into the crook of his neck.
So,
What?
I'm the greatest thing that has ever happened to you.
Zack's face flushes ruby red.
I only said that so you'd wake up.
She continues to nuzzle him.
No take backsies.
He turns away, still red, but he doesn't fight out of her grasp. I clear my throat. You guys, we still have to help Amy. Kara blinks, noticing us for the first time, and her expression becomes serious. She steps away from Zack, but not before snatching his hand. He gives her a confused look as she interlocks their fingers.
Come on, let's go find Amy.
We walk a little further along and find Amelia. She's sprawled across the floor. Her face, usually a mask of calm, is twisted with something unpleasant. I frown, suddenly uneasy. Whatever Amy is going through, it doesn't look good. As soon as I reach out and touch her arm, that same white light engulfs my vision, and when it puffs out, I find myself back in an Illumia.
This is the inn from Illumia, isn't it?
I look around. Yeah,
Greetings.
I whirl around. Amy is standing at the bar talking to Leanna. I blink. Why does Amy see an illusion of Leanna? The real Leanna flushes.
I don't know.
Amelia doesn't seem to even notice our presence. She continues on.
I am aware of the true location of Ember Mist.
My mind starts racing.
Wait, Ember Mist.
A light bulb goes off in my head. This is the day we first met Amy, when she asked to join our group. Leanna nods, looking worried. Why would Amy's trial be something like this?
You're just a kid. You should go back to the academy. It's too dangerous out here for someone your age.
Amelia turns pink. Someone as young as her? Realization washes over me like cold water. Everywhere Amy went, she was treated like a kid. The academy didn't take her seriously. Even us as a group are always babying her. Is this Amelia's worst fear? To always be treated as a child?
I think you are mistaken about my age. I am a student studying to be a mage caster. I have received top marks in all of my classes.
The fake Leanna laughs, shaking her head.
Aw, that's adorable. Little Amelia gets top marks. Do you want me to give you a gold star sticker?
Amelia flinches as the fake Leanna had just struck her. Pain flashes behind her eyes. I've never seen her look at this devastated before.
It would be a lot of work to protect you. I don't want to be a full-time babysitter while traveling.
Zack frowns as he sees Amy's distress. He shoves Leanna towards her illusion.
Go out there and punch your fake self in the face!
What?
She stumbles, catching herself, and comes face to face with Amelia. Amelia blinks in surprise.
Why are there two of you?
The real Leanna panics.
You can see me?
Yes.
The fake Leanna gives real Leanna a strange look as if to ask what she's doing there.
Don't listen to this imposter, Amy. You're the one that came out of nowhere. Clearly, you're the imposter.
Amy pauses.
Perhaps this is another trial.
She taps her chin and thought.
There is really only one way to settle this.
Both Leanna stare at her.
How?
Each of you must attempt a flirtatious encounter.
The fake Leanna smirks.
This will be a piece of cake. I refuse!
Leanna crosses her arms. Amelia doesn't even blink. She looks at the real Leanna and nods.
I am certain of who the real Leanna is, and I will no longer believe the lies of the other one.
The white light flashes instantly. It floods the room before fading away. A few seconds later, we find ourselves back at the temple. As our vision refocuses, Leanna looks at Amelia.
How did you guess which one was me so quickly?
Kara interrupts before Amy can answer.
Because you're a prude.
Leanna's eyes grow wide. She crosses her arms.
I am not.
Kara snickers. Leanna looks at Zach, who shrugs.
You definitely are.
She looks at me. She quickly looks away. My chest aches again with a fresh wave of pain. What I wouldn't give to be able to feel her affection once more. I shake my head, shaking away those thoughts. Amelia, who was still on the floor, rises to a stand. She rubs the back of her head in thought.
It is most interesting you were all able to join me in the same illusion. Was it the same for the rest of you?
We nod.
I see.
She still looks a bit bothered by what she saw in her illusion, but she crosses her arms.
Perhaps it would be best to keep moving. I believe that was a temple trial we just encountered. We must be close to the heart of the temple.
That's true. Normally after completing a trial would be sent to the room with the elemental.
Hey, do you guys see that?
She points to a door. The carvings on it are rather intricate. I can see some more symbols and elaborate swirls and whirls. It's a deep plum purple standing out amongst the stone.
Do we attempt to open it?
Zach shrugs.
It's not like there's another option.
Let's go. I lead the way to the door and the others follow. We step through the door. Standing in the center, directly facing me, is the Shadow Elemental. Her long hair falls delicately at her back, flowing around her gossamer gown. Her dress hugs her every curve. As I lift my gaze, her violet eyes meet mine. I open my mouth to speak when a gasp interrupts me.
The elemental!
I glance over at my friends, who are frozen in wide-eyed shock. Amy's eyes are the size of saucers. Her mouth is open in silent wonder. I can almost see the questions racing through her mind. Leanna's expression is one of more quiet amazement. She carefully looks the elemental up and down. Zach slowly shakes off his surprise and resumes his usual expression, while Kara doesn't even bother to mask her appreciation. Wait! You can see her?
I sure can. No wonder you went ahead and kissed the last one.
Always with the jokes, Kara! My gaze darts towards Leanna. She pretends like it doesn't faze her, but she refuses to meet my eyes. Zach claps a hand on my back.
Guess you weren't crazy after all.
Throughout the whole encounter, the Shadow Elemental's gaze remains on me. As I refocus on her, a smile lights up her face. Her dress shimmers as she takes a step closer.
Child of the other world, you have finally arrived.
Her voice feels familiar yet strange, like a melody I can't quite place. It's quiet, yet resounding, delicate, but powerful. Oh! So you can talk, that's helpful.
Yes, I can speak.
Cool, cool. You're the first one to talk. None of the other elementals spoke.
Yes, for the safety of Mortalis Terra, they could not.
How come?
In order for us to manifest fully onto Mortalis Terra, it would drain a dangerous amount of energy. Because of that, my sisters have merely projected illusions of themselves to help guide you.
So, are you an illusion too? She shakes her head and her hair brushes alluringly over her chest.
Shadow energy is in excess here. I came seeking your aid.
You need my help.
Ether Terra, where I am from, and Mortalis Terra work in conjunction with each other to maintain the balance of energy. When Terrans use energy, it returns to Ether Terra. And when we use energy, it flows back to Mortalis Terra. This is the reason why maintaining the balance of energy is important. It is so both of our planes of existence can live and thrive upon our shared world. But we noticed an irregularity. Shadow energy was being used less on Mortalis Terra, and as a result, there was less shadow energy available in Ether Terra. But the other elemental energy usage remained unchanged. My people grew increasingly restless at the lack of shadow energy in our world. Some decided to take matters into their own hands. Slowly, shadow energy increased in use until it was back in balance with the other elements. And yet, shadow energy continued to grow and grow. And now the imbalance has returned, with the scale tipped to shadow energy.
That must be because of Void tainting other magic to Shadow.
Leanna's voice is soft, barely a whisper, but it surprises me nonetheless. The dip in shadow energy they felt in the Ether Terra must have been a result of the ban of shadow magic after the Treaty of Isaria, and the spike must have occurred after Void began tainting spheres. For the first time, the Shadow Elemental's gaze slides over to Leanna, who falls quiet, uncertain under scrutiny. The Shadow Elemental smiles softly. Her gaze continues to Zack and then Kara, but lingers on Amy.
You have a strength and ability much greater than your age.
Amy continues to stare in awe. She's too awestruck to speak. The Shadow Elemental smiles reassuringly. A gentle silence falls over us as I contemplate all that she said. This isn't what I was expecting.
Time is of the essence. I should not remain here much longer, but I'm sure you have questions.
My mind races with questions. There's an elemental, and she's not from here, and she's talking to me. That in itself is a lot to wrap my head around. I take a deep breath and force myself to calm down and collect my thoughts. You said you're from Ether Terra. Where is that?
It's on Terra, but on a different plane of existence.
I furrow my brows. The explanation makes enough sense to me. What is an elemental? She delicately cocks her head.
Your titles are not the same as ours. I'm not familiar with elementals.
That's a term Terrans use to refer to you.
Oh.
A smile plays at her lips, and she runs her fingers through her hair thoughtfully.
Elemental. I like it. I am the Shadow Magistrate. As such, it is my responsibility to maintain the balance of shadow energy flow between Mortalis Terra and Ether Terra, and to balance the shadow element among the other elements.
That's quite interesting. She smiles. I can understand why the Terrans view the elementals as deities, but it sounds like that's not the case. They're more akin to societal leaders. If Terrans build these temples for you, why do the temple trials exist?
Every elemental energy type is manipulated in a different way. The trials are created by us and tailored to determine the capacity one has to handle that energy. The trials are implemented and watched over by the Guardians. They ensure the integrity of both the trials and the participants.
I remember the foxfire at the temple, but where are the other Guardians? How come I didn't see all the Guardians at each temple?
The Guardians do not always appear. Some do not wish to be seen, but all are present within their temple.
I remember the trial in the water temple. I wonder if that imitation Amy was actually the Guardian in disguise. I see. She nods. That's all I need to know for now. We should get moving and stop Void. Leanna stirs gently beside me, reminding me of her presence. I'd forgotten they were still there. It makes sense that they remained quiet and let the shadow elemental explain. Car steps forward.
Sorry to interrupt, but how come we can see you?
The shadow elemental turns her face to her. Her face floats behind her before falling back in place.
In this manifested state, I exist in your plane.
Kara digs an elbow into Zach.
And someone here didn't believe the elementals were real.
He crosses his arm.
Yeah, well, someone also told us Void would be here. But I haven't seen them anywhere.
You're right. It's been quiet.
If they aren't here, then where would they be?
Besides this location, I can sense one other area with a strong congregation of shadow energy.
Amy nods, finding her voice again.
Perhaps that is where Void is located.
Is it nearby?
The elemental shakes her head.
No, but I can send you where you need to go.
By opening a rift? She nods. It's pretty helpful that she can open a rift. The elemental reaches out her hand. For a moment, nothing happens, but then a small purple hole the size of a pea tears open in the space in front of us. It eats all the surrounding space until the opening is large enough for a person to fit through. I stare in awe as the jagged fabric of reality falls around it. The shipped opening is a rich lavender with no indication of where it leads. It feels ominous and familiar. My friends look stiffly at the rift, distrust and hesitation in their eyes. Only Amelia looks intrigued and excited by it.
The balance of the elements must be restored. We're counting on your help.
How come you don't come with us?
This temple has a tremendous amount of energy. It's safe for me to manifest here for a brief time, but I cannot manifest elsewhere, lest it cause irreparable harm to Mortalis Terra.
Amelia steps up to the rift. The elemental stops her. She faces me again.
There is something I must give you first.
She steps toward me, her dress billowing behind her. She reaches out her hands. Before she touches me, Leanna pulls me away.
Hold on.
What? The shadow elemental remains frozen. Her eyes are expressionless as they land on Leanna.
You've seen the kind of damage shadow magic can do. Are you sure it's safe for you to accept that?
Shadow magic on its own does not do harm, as is the same with any element.
But the corruption it can cause.
I put a hand on Leanna to reassure her. It'll be no different than when I absorb any other element. Everything will be fine. Her brows are still creased with worry, but she nods and steps back. The shadow elemental places her arms around my face. Her initial touch is like getting hit with a snowball, an icy impact which fades into nothingness. The smooth stream of energy pours into me, soft as silk and cold as ice. It freezes my bones, darkening my spirits. My teeth begin to clatter, and my body shakes. My vision clouds as wave after wave of energy forces itself inside me. They cling to me and twist and crawl within me. I feel numb, yet my senses are heightened. It runs through my veins, weightless but present, like a shadow. Everything ceases at once when she breaks contact. I jolt back, blinking my eyes until my vision returns. She seems more translucent than before. Leanna rushes over to me.
Are you okay?
Yeah. I turn back to the elemental. Thank you. She nods.
I have done all I can. The rest is up to you.
My friends also look back at the elemental.
You can count on us to help.
Thanks for all your help.
Yeah, thanks.
I wish time was not so urgent. I have many questions I wish to ask of you, but I thank you for all you've done for us.
The shadow elemental nods and indicates the rift.
Please proceed with haste.
I hesitate, staring into the brightness. What happens if I walk through here? Amelia confidently steps through the rift.
Amy!
Zack is right behind her heel and Kara races after him. Only Liana and I remain. She looks over to me. As I meet her gaze, I nod, which she returns. She runs through. Stealing my nerves, I follow Liana into the rift. The brightness surrounds me, engulfing me until it's all I can see. The muted silence is deafening. My blood races through me, but I can barely feel the adrenaline. I feel like I'm suspended in crackling electric air. My legs wade through the light. It's thick and heavy, as if I'm wading through water. Time seems to slow, and yet an instant later, I stumble out of the light and into a forest. When I turn back, I catch the last glimpse of the shadow elemental. She waves goodbye before the rift closes behind us.